Hello, it's Thursday today, and I'm grumpy because the kids are not getting dressed for school. So, they're doing all right, but just so slow. It's 10 to 8, and they're normally eating their breakfast by about 8, and we need to leave about 20 past 8. So about 10 minutes before they need to be eating their breakfast. Just messing about, and my daughter's always got an excuse. I just had enough, so I'm just coming away, and I'm just drinking some coffee and eating a pear with some almond milk, and coffee with the almond milk, and my partner started drinking coffee now, and he says he prefers that because this has got some decaffeinated coffee that Jane Day gave us, which was the Clipper organic. So my partner said he does like that one much better. So I think we are going to make the move to the more expensive coffee. But I don't know. I feel a bit weird about that because I feel like it's going to be that much more expensive. But I think that's an interesting concept of self-care, and thinking, because I think I was just talking to Tess by text, was saying about how, you get so used to not spending any money and getting things that it's very hard to make the decision to get things that aren't the cheapest. So it might be worth it to have the kind of the tastier coffee, because it's so much of a part of my day, and it might help just kind of increase the self-care level. So it's an important part of the process to make sure that you know that you are worth the effort that you're putting in, so that you don't feel that you are ungrateful for the effort that you're putting in, I suppose. I was also talking to a lady called Susan in my group, and talking about how she's got quite a lot of weight to lose, and she said, we were talking about how you've got to so look at the non-scale victories of it all, not just the weight loss numbers, because sometimes they'll only be half a pound, or sometimes you'll put on a pound, or so you have to kind of, they're a good bit of it, they're an important part of it, but you can't have it as the main, you can't have it as the only thing. But also on top of the non-scale victories, you have to have the self-care aspect that comes in. You have to have all these little moments where you're like, now that I've lost a bit of weight, I'm able to clean my feet properly, can get to your feet, can cut toenails easily, can stretch and be a stronger person, because it's all a bit easier to lean over. I can do that, the shoulder stand move in yoga. When I was quite a bit overweight, I could still do it, but you're very much faced with your own belly in your face. So that's a good thing to be able to do that now. That's my battery running out of charge. So I better stop this now and finish my coffee. And it's been 5 minutes now. It says let me take 5 minutes out just to really get my aggression levels down, my annoyance levels just now. I mean, I'm sure they've probably got themselves dressed by now. Sometimes you meddle with them, and then that makes it worse, don't you? So I just take myself away. They got their lists, they know what they got to do, they know how to make their own breakfast, they know how to get dressed, we've got the whole thing sorted out. The whole point of it was that I don't get myself involved, but obviously you got to at some point, because otherwise it's time to go and they still just got their pants on. So got to try and, encourage him a bit. Right, I'm going to drink my drink. See you in a bit. Okay, so just got back from picking the kids up. I had my pasta for my lunch. So I had, and that was some cheese. So that was with some Sainsbury's own brand vegetarian Cumberland style sausages, which are 1 cent each. So I'm just going to try and remember. The olives, I had some olives on there, so that was 2.5 cents for the olives, because there were 12 olives, so it's 5 olives for a sin. 2.5, excuse me, or 2 sausages, so it was 4.5 cents for the pasta. I had 2 Coffee Mate light spoons, like 1 in each coffee I had, so that was 2 cents, so that was 6.5 cents. Then I had peanut butter in the morning, as peanut butter pear wholemeal bread, which was like a sort of put together breakfasty type snack thing, which would make me up to 11 cents. And then I also had a tiny bit of banana chips. So they're not banana chips, they're dried banana, and we've tried them out, but they're a bit weird. But I had a bit of them, so I'll count 1 cent for that. So 12 cents so far today. And then I had my peanut butter and pear sandwich in the morning. I had, which will also be my healthy extra B, and I had my pasta, and I also had some peaches after that, and I also had some coffee, and also bought some Beanies choc orange coffee. So I thought I'd give it a go. I've tried their Irish cream, it's alright, but a bit kind of chemically, and I tried their Christmas pudding one, which is a little bit weird, but I thought let's try a choc orange one, see what it's like. Sometimes it's quite nice to try different things within the kind of, sometimes I quite like having variety within the speed and free food. So for example, the nectarine things I then sometimes have, because I have the yellow flesh nectarine and we have the white flesh nectarine, and they're also peaches, so it's a sort of a similar thing but a variety with what you're eating already. I quite like that. And the tiny oranges, you can see, mandarin, tangerines, clementines, and all sorts of different. You get slightly different flavours each times, but it's the same basic concept, which kind of helps so they don't branch out too much and end up having odd things that aren't really properly food optimizing. So we went out to the park, which was good. I like to use up the time between picking them up and coming back and make some tea up, because otherwise if I'm at home I just end up just sitting about, and then I'm tempted to eat, and that's a long time of an hour or so to try and keep yourself away from food, whereas when you're out and about you're just busy, so it's a really useful use of time. When it rains we're going to go to the library instead, so just use up that patch of time. So basically I'm just making the kids some spaghetti, then they'll have their food, then I can get them in the bath. I do have now 3 sins to have, and I've got myself some fava beans. They're like a little packet of fava beans, pizza flavoured it is, but it's got no sugar in it, so it's nice. It's just got oregano and like bits and pieces like that on it. So they're 3 sins, so I'm intending, if I want, I can have a packet of those. They're ever so small, but they're not nuts, they're beans, so that the calories are a bit lower in them. So I quite like them because I think they're something a bit tasty. It takes a little while to eat them, and so I might have them later. Tonight would be curry, so we've got some curry that I slow cooked from yesterday, so my partner will have a bit of that, and we'll have it portioned up tomorrow as well for feed tomorrow, so there might be enough. Sometimes there isn't quite enough. I try and pack out the slow cooker, but sometimes it doesn't quite work out that way and there's not quite enough food there. But I'll see how much the food there is when we portion it out, and if there isn't quite enough for me to have some curry tonight, I will have some noodles and some stir fry vegetables, and I will I've got some corn on the cob as well, frozen corn on the cob. It's not very tender when you cook it, it's a bit mushy, but it's very, very sweet, so it's really yummy anyway. But so I might have some of that with that, but you know, put it in with the noodles type of thing. So I'm relatively safe today, and although I'm sitting at 12 sins, which sometimes makes you think, how can I fit everything in? What nowadays I know I don't really need a tremendous amount of sins, especially once I've got over the most of the day, because I'm at home now, so I can have free feed and such, as long as I've got a bit of fruit in, and 3 sins is plenty to play with. Can have my snack, and I've got plenty of chance to have coffee, etc., and that sort of thing. Yeah, and I'll have my almond milk, so I'll have had some of my cheese allowance on my pasta, and then I've just got the almond milk to use up the rest of the healthy extra A. Excuse me. Healthy extra A allowance. So healthy extra B done. Healthy extra A will be done with the almond milk, and 12 cents so far. Also, I got myself a jumper, which I could show you actually. It's got myself a jumper in this half price at Sainsbury's, because I really wanted a cable knit jumper, like a really bulky jumper, because when I was very big, I didn't have, when I was very big, my arms were very big, and when you wear a really big chunky jumper, it's very obvious you've got quite big arms, because it kind of makes it even like more substantial. And quick stir. I think that's done now, that's spaghetti. It might be a bit too sludgy. Here's my special areas. Just gonna tip that. There we go. I'll stop cooking then. Just quickly show you then that. Just packed it in my bag here. The other thing I've been getting into is doing the smoothies. I haven't had for a little while, but a smoothie is about 2.5, 3 sins. So that's quite a good savvy sin as well. So because for a long time I basically didn't have the smoothies. These are the fava beans, roasted fava beans, and they just do little tiny packets. And they're quite good. They're quite small, but they're tasty. Just little tiny packets of them. There's quite a fair amount in there. They take a little while to eat, and they're high protein, so it makes you feel like you actually had something. And they're a really lovely alternative to kind of crisps. What else have I got in there? I've got the Beanies chocolate orange coffee. It's ever such a small little jar, isn't it? They don't give you very much, but it's be quite good anyway. And also we got some the kind of Clipper organic, because Jane Day given us the decaf, and my partner liked it, so we just got the coffee as well. Some socks, some school socks, because we're scrapping around trying to have socks. We got no socks. This jumper. So it's really thick jumper. If I just put you on the stairs, I'll just slip it on. So it's really bulky, a really bulky jumper. That means that before, when my arms were so huge, it just accentuated my arms, but now my arms are that much smaller. I can wear like a really bulky, comfy winter jumper, and I don't feel absolutely huge, and it doesn't make any part of me feel bulgy. It's like I've got a bit of a bulge to my tummy, but you know, that's just being a person, isn't it? I think it's just my excess, like it's not sort of like loads of huge amount of fat or anything, it's just some excess skin and being a person type bulge, rather than like, you know, when you've got a huge tummy, really noticeable. So it's nice to be able to wear a big chunky knit jumper and not feel like I'm gonna look like an elephant, like really huge. So this is one of them non-scale victory things where I'm allowed to wear a cozy jumper, whereas previous to that point I wouldn't be able to really wear something so big and bulky. And it's quite practical as well, so I feel like I would actually be able to wear it out and about. It's not sometimes things that are too loungy aren't really functional when you actually try and wear them out and about. Alright, I'm going to go and get the kids their spaghetti, so I will see you in a bit. Bye! I've just here got some pasta, leftover pasta and veg and leftover chilli mixed together. Earlier I had 3 tangerines, a peach, and I had the fava beans, so I'm at 15 sins and 1 healthy extra B and 1 healthy extra A.